up, Cybonics, and welcome to the first
app review
of the year 2022. Today we will once again explore 3 Ionic applications. First application is a parcel courier delivery application, second application is a social network, and third is an application from a very special Ionic community member. Once again, we are here to learn from these applications, not just roast them, although I sometimes do this, and we might find a few things in these applications as I've already seen on the first look. But anyway, we will hopefully learn a lot from the different applications and the small details that can make or break your application. If you would also like to see your Ionic application in one of the upcoming app reviews, you know what to do. Leave a comment below, send me your application on Twitter, I'm gonna check it out and maybe I'm gonna include it in one of our upcoming episodes. Also, if you didn't know, I run the Ionic Academy, a place online school to help you building great Ionic applications. So in case you wanna build a good application and want some learning material, a great community, templates and all that stuff, go check it out, ionicacademy.com, my place to help you with everything Ionic. So let's dive into our 3 apps of the day. Alright, first app of the day is called Parcello. Actually, I think it's a German application, but it's also available in English as far as I know. Available both iOS and Android. It's an application for tracking your packages, I guess. So let's take a look at this on a device. There we go. Okay. So on the first screen, I noticed that, well, there's a bit of information, but I actually don't know why I have to immediately sign up or sign in. And I also don't really like when I can scroll these kind of views. You can definitely make this without scrolling. I could create a new account like this. It looks like it has a header, but the button is here, so that looks kind of strange. I don't know, I will go through the sign in with Apple. And after the sign up with Apple, okay, I'm welcomed by a nice introduction screen. That looks cool. Still, I don't like that I can actually scroll it like this. Track shipments, find out the arrival time, plan trees. That sounds awesome. For all your shipments, I actually really like these SVG graphics or whatever it is. Okay, always know when the package is with AI. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. For a package we plant a tree. That's really nice. I don't know why they plant a tree, but planting trees is always a good idea. So let's go. Would like to send me push notifications. As always, I'm not a big fan of immediately asking for this, but I guess in this case you can kind of make a connection between I have a package that is coming and I get a push notification from this app. So let's allow this. We also see ads down here. Yeah, well, most of the applications I reviewed didn't have ads in there. They just have a paid option. I don't know if ads still work these days, but well, it's okay. So this looks like the home screen. The tab bar is okay. My deliveries. Kind of really like how this is usually like a segment control, but it's displayed. It's even a swipeable tabs component. Pretty cool. There's this. I can add a new shipment. I'm not sure if this is already using the new Ionic 6 bottom sheet. It kinda looks like it, or it's a custom implementation. Anyway, pretty cool. Delivery time check. Not sure why the map is not coming up. Okay, I got this setting screen. That's a clean setting screen. They don't really have a lot of colors in here. I don't know, this greenish color seems to be the primary. So let's try and add a delivery. So I'm gonna paste in my shipping number. It immediately gets the courier. That's cool. What's the destination? Well, my destination. So this now looks kind of strange. We have this card on the card. I don't know if I'm a fan of that because it doesn't look right to me. In that case, I would, I guess, more prefer on iOS this stacked cards view and not this sheet component view. Alright, I've added my address, so let's add this shipment. Loading information, it's coming today between 11 and 14 o'clock. That seems to be right. I see even a bit better timing here on the official tracking. But anyway, looks cool. Now on this details page, it is interesting because we once again have this bottom sheet component, which is indicated by the notch, but it's not working like that. If you know from Google Maps, for example, then the map would stick in the background and you would just pull over the bottom sheet. In this case, the whole page is actually moving. So it's not really the correct implementation of the bottom sheet. Definitely want to do a tutorial about this bottom sheet with maps in the background in the future anyway. Please put a comment into so I don't forget about this. Anyway, it looks like I've now planted one tree. They kind of like the usage of slides in their application, which is pretty cool. We even got a little animation in here. If you can add something like that, that is always great. Besides that, the application does what it says. I can add my packages, new shipments, I can track them, I can even have a check-in here. But once again, the bottom sheet is not really doing what I expected to do. Also, kinda would like to have the header here transformed to the top bar, which is actually not present, so there are minor things I would improve in the application. Overall, the settings screen is nice. The tab bar with the custom buttons at the bottom is pretty cool. Maybe this button, as it has a special functionality, I would make this stand out a bit more visually, maybe. I just wanted to start my resume about the application, then I noticed one more thing, and that is, for example, here, I'm now on the settings screen, and notice what happens if I click this row here. Did you notice it? I'm gonna do it again just for you. So what happens is we were on the settings screen, we see a transition forward to a new page, but we are now actually on a completely different tab, and it also shows that this is problematic for the application. If you watch this area right here, you see the transition isn't fine, and going back, I'm now here. If you go from one tab in your application to another tab, don't use a forward navigation. If this is a link to a different page, you kind of have to make it a bit different to the other links, because for example, language links just goes to a details page and the navigation is fine. But if I'm doing this, we see a forward navigation and we jump to something else. So if you're jumping to a new page or a different tab in your application, you should definitely use set route instead of navigating forward, because this results usually, as we can see in this example as well, in a kind of ugly UI that doesn't really work right. So that is just a small thing that I can notice here. Overall, it's a clean UI. The application does what it should. I can track my packages. It works pretty easy. Besides the bottom sheets, which are stacked, which I wouldn't do, and also this nudge indication when there's actually no way to drag this above something else, then I would just make this a flat component instead of faking a bottom sheet. But overall, give it a try if you're from Germany, or I think it will also work in other countries, hopefully, and help to plant some trees. Second application of the day is called Pubbles, your private bubble. So Pubbles, that makes sense. Looks like some kind of social media network. I can already see from the screen a lot of standard Ionic stuff, so gonna be interesting. Let's take a look at Pubbles. Okay, application comes up. I don't know why, but the email actually has a gray background, so not sure why it's white. Once again, I don't like this part. I really don't know why I don't like this, but I always do this on application and it always feels like I'm on a website. Also, the buttons, yeah, they have a custom color, but it's basically the Ionic rounded button, so it's not that creative. That part definitely was creative. Can we see that again? How can I go back? Okay, interesting. I'm not sure if the menu should already be enabled because I already got a lockout button, so yeah. The default Ionic menu template has the menu routing set up in the app component. And if you don't put it into a different page, this is what might be able. So you don't have a menu button, but you can drag in a menu. So either on your login pages, disable the menu so you can't drag it in, or just have the routing for the menu on a different page. It's really not that hard. You don't have to rely on the Ionic menu template, really, that's not necessary. But I would really love to go, I want to go back, oh, there's login back. That is a nice app, really nice. Let's do this one more time. What is going on? The color is moving from top to bottom. It looks like one big thing moving across the screen, and then the logo fades back in or comes back in. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I like that. That's stuff you need in your application. Even though I just had the buttons, well, they look so, I don't know, they look like TikTok for 13-year-old girls or something like that. Maybe just in general a bit too many colors. We got the Pubbles colors here. They might actually be the Pubbles colors, but anyway, now let's finally create an account. By the way, I would really love to have something like Apple login on this screen. So if you have signed in, please offer the social providers. It's not that hard to implement these days. Alright, one more thing. When I'm in a page like this, I would really love to have a button here, something like done or so, that would just trigger the sign up, because right now this button has no functionality. You can do this with the enter search key hint property on an input field, something like this, to define which keys you see. So let's do this and sign up. I really like the animation. There was a send to your email. I'm gonna check that. I really like how the timer is running down, and also the animation we saw before. That was definitely pretty cool. Let's try if I can paste this. Okay, submit. We see the cool loading animation once again, and the app would like to send me push notifications. In this case, yeah, I can assume it's a networking application, so I kinda know why, but still it might be a bit too early. So now, I would really love to have something like the Apple effect, where this nose slowly moves in the background. I was really expecting this because the application already had some cool visual concepts. I can have only a limit of 100 friends. It's a pretty cool concept. Besides that, I think this is a bit too much text for introduction. Also, I can't really see how many items we got in that list. So the inactivated bullet background, something like that, is a bit off. And also the creator tried to really put every possible information into the introduction. I really don't want to read all these pages of text. I know you just want to describe the application, but do it in a visual way like we saw with the Parcello application. Have some SVGs in just one sentence or maybe 2 sentences per page. But this is like reading a document about what I can do and all the things, so that is definitely too much for me in the beginning. Choose at least one interest. Let's pick coffee. I kind of like the representation with these punch cards or punch buttons that I can easily activate. That is a good representation. Okay, I like that I see that something is going on, although I'm not sure what is going on because I don't have any friends, neither in this application nor in real life, so not sure what is loading. Maybe a nice text on the empty screen would be cool, like share your first whatever or add your first friend. Anyway, now we see finally the menu, which we've already seen before. Yep, this was obviously opening a browser. We got home, we got settings. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe doing the fab game a bit too much, so I can remove my avatar, change the background, delete the background. I think just 2 buttons would have been enough to somehow edit these settings. I guess when I do this, yeah, I can take a picture there as well, change this. Theme, interesting representation of a theme. I can see the idea behind this. And I kind of like that you can customize your application right here. Dark mode would have been cool as well. Perhaps it is even already implemented. But maybe I would just have something like the punch buttons we had on the login screen as well. Just a small outline of the application and the color, and then selecting the color instead of this. I know it was easy to implement just using the ng class on the buttons, but it's not perfect. On the screen, we even got an implementation of a tab bar, which has, this part has a few shadows, but it's really grayed out like this. So this is definitely, it's even hard for me to read all of this. So I would certainly work on the contrast of the text and the colors and your background. So if the user is picking a different theme for the application, maybe also change the overall theme of the tab bar. Also, a tutorial I want to do this year about completely customizing the UI of your app. Anyway, we're back home. Cool, and I could go there quite fast. Yeah, that. Actually, I like the dark mode with more contrast a lot more. I think this should be the default mode. That looks a lot better in my eyes. Now I can even see this screen a lot better. So really enjoy that. Let's see, I can have chats. I definitely don't have any chats. It's an interesting navigation concept. So we have a menu, we have a tab bar on top. I go to another page which has another different tab bar and then a button to go back to home. That is certainly not the default behavior of applications. It kinda works for this application, although I would expect this to be on the left side, since I feel like, yeah, I can go back, I can also slide to go back. But anyway, tabs and more tabs, and I don't know, it might be a bit too much and too confusing. So I don't have notifications and an error. Okay, I can live with that. Now I can somehow add friends to enjoy Pubbles. That's cool. We got the segment control up here, which looks nice. And once again, we got my bar. Let's try to share something. Okay. Going hard with a fab game once again. We got 6 more after clicking that one fab. Looks like I can share music, pictures, write something, a location, my body measurements and the video or something like that. I haven't seen it expansion to the sides. Usually you see it to the top, so you have it at the bottom right and then it expands to the top, but it's kind of easy, quick access, but still just so many options in this application. It's just too much for me. Maybe just have one and then start something. And then you can select on the detailed screen what you want to do, because clicking this, like for example on Instagram, share something, or on Twitter, you just press that button and the next thing comes up. You don't have to put more thought into, do I want to share a video or text or sound or something like that? Okay, these were actually not my body measurements. I can share a thought. I don't know if this is on purpose cut or if the box, no, it's actually, if my eyes, no, I guess it's on purpose. Not sure why, but I can share this. So actually it looks pretty cool. I can't fetch my location. It was set to Saudi Arabia, so I guess the creator comes from Saudi Arabia. I could now add my friends. There are really a lot of menus, popovers, navigation elements, especially fab elements in this application. I feel like the application has a lot of good things. For example, we saw the animations in the intro. We got this here, we got transitions where things slide to some sides. But overall, there are just too much options, too many options. We've seen in the introduction screen like 5 pages of text that explain this application. We have one button here that shows 6 more options to do something, and actually most of the screens are different. So when I'm completely lost. When I share something like this, it's a completely different theme, and also all the time when I go back, it will always show this thought stuff. So even if I close this, I'm here. So there's just too much in my eyes that the user has to decide. You have to make the application easier and kind of guide the user slowly through all of these things. Also, it looks like there are a lot of pages. We have seen, for example, when I go up here, I'm on a details page with another tab bar, and then I can go back and then have the side menu. So all of this is a very confusing navigation in my eyes. At least it's confusing me. So I'd rather have like just 4 or 5 options where I can go, and then I can go into details pages there. But this is just putting everything on a separate screen, and it just feels too much for me. And also that this this loading never disappears is obviously a little bug. Overall, I do like the dark mode a lot more. The light theme, especially if you pick different colors, is kind of hard to read. But there are cool elements about this application. So I don't know if this is for a specific region or if this is meant for global. Definitely, otherwise give it a try. Pubbles, the idea sounds cool of having your private Pubbles, pubbles.online, go check it out. Third application of the day comes from a very special Ionic community member, David Del Busco, creator of DeckDeckGo and organizer of the Ionic Zurich meetup. David shared this application recently, in open source prototype developed with colleagues for the Bonjour Foundation. I don't know exactly what Bonjour is, but the application looked cool on the outside. It is available as progressive web app, Google Play Store, App Store. I'm just gonna keep this open, we might come back to that, but for now we're gonna take a look at it on a device, because that's really what I love. Grow, live up your aspirations and thrive by Bonjour. This is really a nice, clean. I can't say anything bad about this screen. Maybe I can something. Can I scroll this up and down? Of course I can. Especially it looks like they have a status bar in their application and didn't remove that, so I can drag my content behind that status bar. That's definitely something you might want to fix. But otherwise, let's continue. What is growth will help you inspire, make okay, that looks cool, okay. How does it work? Nice, there was actually a cool, I don't know what kind of animation it was. Anyway, let's get started. Weekly goal. I don't know what I want to do. I want to, yeah, health is always a good goal. Deep sleep, would be nice with a little daughter. I'm going to get plenty of sleep this week. Well, it's not up to me, but I'm gonna try. That is a good point to ask for notifications, I guess, because I took a few actions in that application and said I want to do something. So then they want to remind me. Your weekly goal, deep sleep, time remaining 6 days. Okay, looks like there's not too much else going on in this application. It's a very simple app. Still, I like this. We can't see the different colors. Maybe we should just check it out in here as well. So inside the Progressive Web App, let's do something else. If I create something as a Progressive Web App and it's also available as a website, I would always make sure that this back button is kind of not very cool on the web. But this, what I meant is hover effect. So if I go over a button, I definitely need this. Perhaps the shade is here a bit too dark, but especially here, there's no shadow or nothing going on. I just get the different pointer, but that's not enough on the web. So definitely, if you plan to make an application also for the web, you always have to consider these things. They did a great job with the overall design of the theme. So I guess they used some kind of flex layout, have a maximum width, and then just centered the focus on the web, the content on the web. That works pretty good. As we can see on a mobile device, it works nice as well. Now let's select a goal. Actually, it also asks for notifications here, so cool. And now we can see this side by side. So they just have, yeah, a bit more space on the sides as a whole website. As a Progressive Web App, it would most likely look like this as well. It's certainly not completely made for the web. So we got this super small icon up here and this page appearing effect. It's the standard Android page. Yeah, on the real web page you would either have a little modal, I guess so this could actually be a modal and not a forward navigation. What's it like in this app? It's a forward navigation, yeah. So I would rather have made this as a modal, I guess, because then on the web you would have a centered modal instead of this whole page, which you can see. Let's say I accomplished this goal. Once again, now I actually have the color change right here. Ah, that feels good. Thanks a lot. Okay, my plant is growing. So I can now just set a new weekly goal. I don't know this application, which exact purpose the application is for. It's maybe just for having one little goal, or it was just an example for this foundation, not sure. But you can see a lot of cool things. First of all, you can easily create an application that looks good on mobile and also kind of works on the web. And as a Progressive Web App, you can have notifications. We've seen web notifications coming up here. We have seen the dialog here inside the application. And the whole layout just works on different screens pretty nice. What's not working perfectly is what I said, the hover effect on some of the buttons, which you definitely need to consider if you make something for all available platforms, and as well putting something into the header area. Always kind of hard on the web. So now I got this info bubble here. Maybe it would better be placed, I actually don't know where a better place where that would be. And as well, especially the transitions in your application. So on a mobile application, going forward, showing a modal, all of that is just fine and feels natural. But on the web, if you have something like this, could I now even drag back? No, that's not working, but certainly having a back arrow completely here, then maybe make it here, put it into the center like all of the other content, but now it's completely out of place, just like the button. And once again, as I said, I would make this a modal instead above the content. That just looks nicer on the web. On mobile, you won't see a huge difference, since it will just cover the whole screen. but on the web model just looks better. Anyway, if you want to check out what David has been up to, you can find this. I think even he shared the code on GitHub, so pretty cool. If you're interested in some kind of responsive design, you can find it here on David's profile. I will put a link to the Progressive Web App and the different links as well, so you can go and check it out, because on the Progressive Web App you will also find the link to GitHub, and then you can explore what David Peter Parker actually has created with this cool Grow application. Alright, and that's it for today. I really enjoyed this episode because in all of the 3 applications were tiny things that could be improved. In the first application, we saw a lot of bottom sheets component. Not sure if this was already the new bottom sheet from Ionic version 6, but it kind of looked off, especially when you started to stack those bottom sheets. It would be better to just have the iOS card optic in that case. Also, on some screens, we had this notch from the bottom sheet, then we could actually drag the whole page up and down instead of just dragging the bottom sheet up while the background, the map in that case, is fixed. So this is definitely something. Don't try to fake a certain UI aspect if you don't deliver on this. In the second application, we saw some cool UI animations and transitions between screens, but on the other hand, we had way too much information. We had this introduction screen, which was like an essay to read. Then we had the side menu, which was already enabled on the login screen. We had this kind of confusing navigation for going to details page, having a tab bar and then going back and menu, and my head was spinning with all the fab buttons I saw on that page. So I know some applications just have a lot, like this application wanted to do a lot different options for sharing content, but try to really bring it down. Building an easy UI is usually a lot harder than building an UI like that, where you just flat outline all the different options a user has. So try to somehow focus on important things and expand from there, but make it easy for the user to go from one to the next, so the user always knows where exactly in the application he or she is. And third application was a very simple application with just basically 1 or 2 screens, but we saw that we can build a great layout that looks good inside a mobile application and as a progressive web app in any sizes on the browser, but also that there are small things you have to be careful with, like the hover effect for buttons or cards that you can click on the web. For things that you put especially in the status bar, like when you have the main content within this range, you don't want to have a button up here or up there. That just feels completely wrong. So you need to test your application really on all the different sizes and come up with some media queries to hide elements on certain screens or reposition them to make your layout work on all the different device sizes, which is definitely possible with Ionic. Alright, that's it finally for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, once again, leave your own app in the comments or recommend other apps that you've seen built with Ionic, because the year is long and we will definitely have more Ionic app reviews this year. Hopefully you can apply a few of the things that I noticed in these applications in your own application this week and build better apps. And I will hopefully catch you next week like always. So happy coding, Simon.